Hi there, today we're going to be talking about men and women and the confusion that there is today in society. My name is Fabrizio Poli, I'm the author of Be Aware But Don't Care, and I'm going to be talking about a message from my book today about men and women. Now, today we live in a society where they're trying to masculinize women and feminize men. Hollywood do a good job of this. You switch on any of these movies these days and you see the woman's the one fighting, saving the man, and the man's the guy at home doing the cooking with the kids. And manhood, as it used to be, is laughed at. And, people like Andrew Tate that say that guys need to go out there and fight and do all sorts of things to become men. A certain part of his message is actually right. I don't agree with everything that he says, but yes, there is a crisis of manhood. So in my book, I talk about the three things that men need to have and the three things that women need to have. So what does a man need to be a man? The first thing a man needs is a battle to fight. Now, that doesn't mean he has to go out and start boxing or jiu-jitsu or whatever it may be. A battle to fight could be something professionally. And, men symbolically, years ago, the man would leave the cave and go out and fight an animal, kill it, and then bring it home. Today, you go out and you fight in the marketplace, whether you have a business or whether you work for somebody. You've got a battle to fight within your company. You may be working on developing a new product, that's your battle to fight right now, or you may be starting a company, that's your battle to fight. So a man needs a battle to fight. The second thing that a man needs is an adventure to live. Men like adventure. That's why a lot of guys now are getting into jiu-jitsu or mountain climbing. They need something adventurous. Some men revert to video games and that's how they get their adventure. I personally prefer going out there and doing something. I fly jets. That's kind of my adventure. I love flying jets, and that's kind of my adventure. I love traveling to different locations around the world. And for me, that's my adventure. And then the third thing is a man needs a beauty to rescue and love. Now, think of the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve. Adam was running around on his own. God looked down and said, I think he needs some help. I'll send him a helpmeet. I'll send him a partner. And he sent him Eve. So this is another important thing. There's too many young guys at 30, they're single or they just have these flings, these girlfriends. No, you need a partner for eternity. A partner, a wife, and marriage is important. And I talk about marriage in my book as well. You need to get married. Don't do this, we're going to live together thing. That doesn't work. The stats prove it. Marriage is the way, but getting married and staying married is not easy. You need to work on it. I always say marriage is a garden and there's two gardeners, the husband and the wife, and they both have to work away at it. But there was a book that was, before I get into the book, there was, in the Maasai tribe, for example, in order for a boy to become a man, he needs to kill a lion. And in his book, Iron John, Robert Bly, who wrote this book many years ago, he talks about one of the reasons why there's a crisis in manhood is because there's not a rite of passage, at least in the Western world, to take a young boy from boyhood to manhood. There needs to be a transition there. Something needs to happen. An event needs to happen in order for that to happen. I mean, I learned to fly airplanes at 17, and for me, that was my rite of passage. When I went from just being a kid to actually being a pilot at 17, that for me that gave me a lot of responsibility, gave me a lot of confidence. And that's like for the Maasai tribe, when you go out and you kill a lion, you imagine if you killed a lion with your bare hands, how much confidence that would give you. And confidence is really, really important. And so there needs to be something there. I mean, in my faith, for example, young men between the ages of 18 and 25 stop work or studies or whatever they're doing, and they go out on a mission to basically preach the gospel of Jesus Christ for 2 years. During those 2 years, they leave their families. Sometimes they're sent the other side of the world. They have to learn a foreign language, and they're out there teamed up with another person for a few months, and then they change that person, and they go out there and they're teaching people the gospel. And teaching religion to people is not easy. In certain parts of the world, it's easier than others. But they go out there and they do this, and during this time, they're not allowed to date. They're totally focused on the gospel. And this, I've seen my two boys leave the home as boys and come back men. This transforms them. And this is an important thing that's missing in with the Western world today. And so these three things are really important. So if you're sort of out there and you're thinking, as a man, you're going through a bit of a crisis, first of all, find something to fight for, find an adventure to live, and get married. Find a good young lady and get married. And those three things will help you be more of a man. Now let's go and see what about women. Now, women need three things too. The first thing is to be pursued and cherished. They need to be cherished. They need to be appreciated. So they need to do stuff which helps them with that. They need to serve. Women like to nurture. So they like to go out there and serve and help. And that's one thing that women really need. The second thing, they need to play an important role in an adventure. So you, the guy, you're watching this, get your wife involved in your adventure, or find an adventure that you can do together. But when you get her involved in the adventure, she's not just there for the ride, she needs to play an important role in this adventure. So get her involved, do this together. This will also help you as a couple to grow and develop. And the third thing, which is important, she needs to unveil and nurture her beauty. So a woman needs to look after herself. So if you've got that extra weight, work to get it off, go to yoga class, do whatever you can, go and get your hair done, your nails done. Look after yourself. God has given you this body, look after it. It's important for your own self-esteem. It's important for you as a woman. You see these women cut their hair short or shave all their hair off and whatever, and put all these tattoos on and go to the gym and pump up, and they look like men. They got masculine energy, not feminine energy. And so this is really, really important. Hollywood's not helping, because Hollywood's, trying to take women away from being feminine, okay, and taking men away from being masculine. But these are really the three things that a man needs and a woman needs. And I think, we need to go back to these basics. I mean, you go and visit any of these tribes in the Amazon rainforest or in Africa and whatever, and you'll see the men being men and the women being women. They get it. They get it. It's us here in the Western world where they are trying to confuse us, shut us in the cube. And what's the purpose of shutting us in the cube? To stop us, each one of us, from being who God designed us to be. And so when I say be aware but don't care, I mean we need to be aware that this is happening. And hopefully this video has helped you to be aware, but we also have to not care. And what do I mean by not care? We need to focus on ourselves. In order to help the world become a better place, we need to be better people. For things to change, we need to change. For things to get better, we need to get better. That's really the focus. So as a man, we need a battle to fight, adventure to live, and a beauty to love. Those are the three things. If you're a woman and you're watching this, you need to be cherished. You need to go out there and nurture and help and love people and serve. You need to be part of an adventure and have an important role in that adventure. And you have to look after yourself and nurture that beauty that God gave you. These are the three things. If each one of us does this and we team up with a good partner, we will make the world a better place. So I hope you enjoyed this message. Grab yourself a copy of Be Aware But Don't Care. Click on the link below. Get the book. Read it. But above all, use it. Share it with your friends. And put a nice review on Amazon. Maybe buy a copy for your friend. Give it to your friend. Tell them to read this book. This is a book that you can read from cover to cover, or you can read bits here and there. It's touching a lot of people's lives. So we need to get the word out there. That's all from Fabrizio Poli here on this message. And I'll see you on the next one.